What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This car has been running since like 5 o'clock p.m. yesterday. This is so weird. It was in yesterday's vlog. Bobby's like, why is that car running? It ran all night.
That car right there has been running for probably 2 hours now.
Alright, so we are back in the shop. First thing I want to do today is get the interior of this car back together. So here's all the pieces we painted flat black yesterday. All turned out really, really nice. And we have this little trim, this little bezel piece right here that we painted a semi-gloss black. It didn't turn out perfect. There's like some little stuff right there. Just a little weird. If that's too noticeable in the future, I'll probably just like powder coat it so it's perfect. And we also have this red hazard button, this JDM STI hazard button. I'll link this down below, about $25 online. And this is how it will look against the matte black. That is super clean. All right, so we gotta get the vents back in gear, get the shift boot back on the shift bezel, and we can get this interior back together. Well, it looks like there's a huge gap around the radio. Like I talked about yesterday, they cut it out. Maybe if I put that radio bezel, the Kenwood radio little trim piece on, it'll kind of fill up that gap. But of course I threw it away. So we gotta dig through here and find it. There it is. All right, that's better. I think I could live with that. That is so much nicer looking now. Last thing to install are these side vents. I am missing 2 of these screws, so I need to go, or these Allen heads, so we do need to run in to like Ace Hardware or something, pick some of those up. But I really like that flat black look with the gloss black trim piece. I think it looks nice. Tiny bit of silver left. There's silver there, silver on the knobs, which I do not mind. I think it looks good, especially with that JDM hazard button. It looks super nice. So one of the last things we need to do on the interior of the car is get these speakers in. Super cheap, like $40 Best Buy Kenwoods. Very shallow mount. I think they're about 1.5 inches deep. So let's get these guys in the front. Should sound a little bit better than what we have right now, which is no speakers. All right, we got the new speaker in. Let's get the door panel back on. And the next thing I want to focus on is this little floppy. You know what, guys, before we mess around with the floppy shifter, let's diagnose the DC-CD error that we are having. It's pretty easy to do. Securely apply the parking brake, turn the ignition switch on, set the driver's control dial to differential lock or differential free. Hold the accelerator pedal depressed fully until reading of DTC is complete. Set the driver's control dial to differential lock and differential free for 10 more times each. Let's do that real quick and see what happens. We're currently not getting any codes from the DC-CD system. As you can see, it's not blinking at all right now when the car is running. So I think I'm gonna go drive the car, try to get that green light to start flashing again. Then we can repeat that procedure, try to figure out what is going on with the system. So of course, when we are trying to diagnose it, it's not acting up. We can figure that out later. For now, let's go ahead and bang out this floppy. Okay, that sounded a little weird. Let's go fix this floppy shifter. I picked up some new shifter bushings from TIC, Turn-In Concepts, and we're gonna have to jack up the car, get it in the air, crawl under it, and there's some bushings down there that we're gonna have to swap out. So it's those bushings right up in there you guys see that are all floppy. We got to swap those out. Definitely is not going to be a fun job getting those out though. We may have to drop out this cross member to get a little bit more space in there. Either way, this is going to be a pain. That bolt is actually super, super loose. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up, and that might just be all we have to do to fix this issue. It's still pretty loose. Yeah, let's go ahead and swap out those bushings. So here are the two bushings we just pulled out, and here are the two new ones from Turn-In Concepts. They look the same, but I'm guessing these ones are probably going to be a little bit tighter tolerances, tighter clearances, and not worn out. This is how everything looks right now. We completely unbolted the transmission from the body, and as you can see, we have that shifter linkage loose up in there. So let's get the new bushings in, get it all together, and see how tight she is. Oh yeah, oh yes. That is so much nicer. There's still a little bit of play, about the same amount as Bobby's STI though. I wish I could have filmed a little bit more while I was under the car. Maybe if we had a lift, then I could have filmed a lot more. That would have been super nice. Give you guys an actual tutorial of how I just did that. But if you guys want to pick up these bushings, I'll link them down in the description box below. All right, so there is one more, I guess you could say, eyesore on the car that I really wanted to get fixed, and it's this missing rear fender flare piece right here. So we picked up a new OEM one from Subaru. It should already be painted the proper color, which is Obsidian Black Pearl. Installing this flare piece is really the last thing we need to do on the car before we can do a full paint correction on the car, which I'm planning on getting that done within the next few days. There's a lot for me to learn before I start doing a paint correction, and I may have my buddy Jared help me out as well. I remembered when we did the Evo 8, there was a ton of comments like, you're doing way too many steps, you're not doing this and that right. Those comments were coming from other channels, other YouTubers that actually do paint correction for a living. So I need to do a lot of research. I need to figure out what to do before we actually jump into the paint correction on this STI. But let's go ahead and open up this fender flare piece, make sure it's the right color, and we can get this guy installed. All right, so here's the piece. There's a bunch of clips on the backside and double side tape as well, which already come pre-installed on the flare. So what we need to do, and it looks like it's the right color. So what we need to do is to get all of this old double side tape off of here. Should be pretty easy to peel off. And then there's a 10mm bolt on the backside of the bumper right here. We're gonna have to slide that out a little bit because the flare actually clips under the bumper. Should look a lot nicer when we get this flare on. And I'm super, super excited to get this paint correction done on the car. It's gonna look absolutely amazing. We already went through and did a bunch of paint work on the car. Hood, bumpers, all that good stuff. It all looks good now. But this paint is so faded, so scratched up, so swirled up, that it should look absolutely amazing. Like, I mean, just take a look at the difference right here. This is the new OEM piece versus faded, scratched up paint. That's how much of a difference a paint correction is gonna make. And we also need to get these windows retinted, get a windshield tint on this thing, and she'll be pretty much done with the budget build. That looks so much better, but now you can really see how big of a difference there is. Good paint versus bad paint. Now with that being said, I am going to head into a local shop here. I need to pick up more pads, more compound. I really need to figure out what pads and compound I want to get. So I'm just gonna head in there, do a little bit of research as well. Maybe talk to the owner there and just really try to get some good equipment here so I don't get roasted when we detail this car.
He's so handsome. Sorry, Mom, we did this too.
What the heck is wrong with him?
Shaved him.
Coda, is that even you anymore? So I ended up at AutoZone. I went to a few different paint shops, went to O'Reilly's, went to AutoZone, and I just picked up some Griot's Garage pads and McGuire's compound as well. So this should do the trick for getting that paint corrected on the STI.
Oh, it's so handsome.
Looks like a rat. That is gonna be it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out. I will see you guys tomorrow.